Nothing says Love like this amazing wall collage done with love in mind. And you can make one too. It's super simple to do and it's not going to cost you a lot of money. Okay, here's what you're going to need, some of the supplies. First of all, you're going to need the little glass pieces, okay? These are a 5x7. You can pick these up at a craft store, art store, whatever. They're a couple bucks. They come apart with the little clips in the back. That's the important part. You're going to need 4 of them, obviously, to spell out the word love. Then you're going to want to print out the word love on your computer. Just put some cardstock in it. What you're looking for are letters that are about 4 inches high and about 3 inches across. And guess what? I have a link for you in the instructions that will allow you to print this font, this exact font. It's because it's a really cool font. And then we're going to decorate that. I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. But then what makes this so pretty is the beautiful paper that we use to decoupage to the glass. And we're doing like a reverse decoupage is what we're doing. And you can find these papers online as well. They're amazing. You have to spend a couple of bucks in order to buy these prints. But you know what? Once you do that, you can, save them and use them any other time you want. And there's a whole bunch of different varieties. Or if you already have some paper, some pretty paper, wrapping paper, tissue paper, that will work too. Old Valentine's cards, that'll work great as well. Then we want some glitter, and then we have some 3D lacquer, some ribbon, and an embellishment. And I'll show you what to do with all that. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take apart our frame and set aside all of the pieces except for the glass. Okay, make sure it's nice and clean. Okay, and it doesn't matter what side you work on, but we're going to work backwards. So we're going to decoupage all of our images face down on the glass, okay? So I'm going to take some of these images and cut them out. And you can cut them, you can tear them. You can do however you want to do it. There's a whole bunch of images on this page. You can fit as many as you can on one piece of paper. And they're so pretty. They're kind of vintage Valentine's images. You can go contemporary if you wanted to. The website is called digitalcollagesheets.com. Okay, there we go. Now I have all my pieces laid out here for a reason. I have them laid out in a special way. I've taken some of the bigger pieces over here, some of the medium-sized pieces here, and some of the smaller pieces here. And then these pieces I'm just going to use to fill in the blanks at the end. Because remember, I'm working in reverse. So start with some decoupage medium. And I'm going to use my favorite Collage Page and a sponge brush. Okay. And my climate here, things dry pretty quickly. So if things don't dry very quickly around where you live, then you could probably, do this whole thing all at the same time. But I have to work fast because this will dry fast. This is pretty dry here. So I'll just start with the top and then work my way down. And I'm going to start with the smaller pieces first. And no rhyme or reason here. Just fill in, whoops. Doesn't matter if you get anything on your fingers or if something isn't exactly laying perfect, because it's a layering process. Wow, see how fast that dries? That is really fast. I'll go this way, over here. And the neat thing about this decoupage medium is that you can't make a mistake because it dries clear, so. That down over here. Okay, see all the little pieces are down? Now we're going to go back and do the medium-sized pieces. And you just put the decoupage medium right over your paper. And you just keep layering. Okay, so we'll work up in this corner now since it dries so fast. I'll put this here. And the whole idea is to fill up the entire piece of glass. You don't want anything showing through. And don't worry if you have to go over the edges a little bit, because we can always go back and trim that up later. When you layer on top of each other, everything adheres to everything else, so it's all like one big one big glue factory going here. Okay, now I have this one little strip right here, and I'm just going to tear this off and use the edge, the straight edge. Okay, we have the whole thing covered. And then you want to give it a nice coat with the decoupage medium, because that really helps seal your project. And then you're going to let this dry. All right, so we have that. While that's drying, I'll set that aside. And then I'm going to bring over here my letters that we printed out. And I want to do the dimension on here. You can do this two different ways. You can use glitter glue or glitter paint, you know, in a puff paint or something like that, to outline the edges. Or what we're using here is some 3D lacquer. And the reason why we're using the 3D lacquer is because it's dimensional and it's nice and thick. And we wanted it to be thick and stand out, not flat. So all you have to do is follow this outline with your 3D lacquer. And it actually stays dimensional like this. And it's going to give us some time to work. Not much time. You don't have to worry about it being perfect because you're going to cover it up with some glitter. Okay? I always recommend working under a paper plate or something like that because that helps catch all the remaining glitter. Now this is like a super fine glitter. You can use any kind of glitter you like, but, and you know, quite honestly, I'm not a big glitter fan because it does make a mess. But hey, anything for the sake of love. Okay, so you're going to give that a nice coating. Make sure you get it all covered. Because if you don't, you're going to see it and it's going to look weird. So make sure you do that nice and thick. Okay, dump the remainder off. Okay, and then you want to let that dry, and that's going to take a little bit of time to dry, again, based on the climate where you live. So we're going to let that dry, and then we're going to come back here and check out our collage and see how this looks. I'm so excited. Oh! Do you want to see? Oh my gosh, look how adorable that is. Way cute. Had no idea what was going to happen there, but way, way cute. Way, way worth it. Okay, so it's not quite dry yet, but I'm going to go ahead and start working anyway. Now, what you want to do is after your letters have dried, you're going to cut them out. This one's already dry. And just cut right along the edge here, as close as you can to your lacquer. You're going to do this for all 4 letters. You could actually print this on a different color paper if you like. Whatever you choose to do is up to you. Thought this looked kind of vintage and old. Okay, here we go. By the way, you want to make sure that you dump that back into your glitter jar. Save that. Okay. All right. Then you will take some glue and glue your letter. You can use some adhesive if you like, some scrapbook adhesive, whatever you like, whatever's handy. And then glue this to the front. I've got some of my sticky fingers all over it. I have to clean that off. Oh my gosh, way cute. Okay, so I have to let this dry. Don't touch it. Okay, once it's dry, then you'll put it back together, you know, with the backing and everything. Okay, so the next trick here is to take some of your ribbon. I'm going to flip this whole thing over because this is what I want you to see, how we tied them all together. Okay, do you see how we tied it? Made a loop here around the 2 clips. And you make it long enough so you loop them through and then wrap the ribbon back around the front to tie your little knot. And that's how we tied all of that together. And then at the top, let me show you the back here. Once again, tied it, made a nice long loop, and then we took some brown, pretty brown ribbon. This is wire ribbon, by the way. It's got wire in it, which I love. And then we took some brown ribbon and added another little piece of brown to it, some paper flowers, a little love embellishment. This one says always, and glued it right to the top of our love wall hanging. You will love it. And if you don't, then, well, what can I tell you? I still love you. Okay, so you want to know more? All you have to do is log on to the instructions, print them out, go shopping to buy all your supplies, and have at it. And you know what? You will just love it, because I love it.